So, it is that time again. I've finished yet another Doctor Who novel that I'm, talking about on my channel, and this time it is The Scales of Injustice. And this book is really, really solid. I mean, I've read it twice now, essentially, because I'm actually in the Security Kitchen's adaptation of this story as one of the main Silurians, Ball or Bow. I'm not sure how, you know, Joey wanted me to pronounce it. I was in the script when I was actually recording it, but not anymore. So yeah, no, I've essentially read this twice now because their adaptation of this is really straight. I actually read the adaptation first, and it's almost the book word for word. There are a couple scenes cut out, but yeah, that's why it took me so long to get through this one, is because essentially I read it twice within the span of 2 months. It's really good, though. It is a very good book. It's a very nice homage to just this general era of Doctor Who that it's trying to encapsulate. It doesn't quite go to the full extent that Invasion of the Cat People does, in the sense that it perfectly captures the feel, but it does its job fairly well. It also manages to give us some really, really intense emotional moments with these characters, which isn't something you see too often. So that was really interesting to see as well. And just like, I'm not sure, I can't remember if I've mentioned this already, because this is my second time recording this, but it's just a very, very nice sequel to the Silurians, too. It deals with the after effects of, Octel's shelter being blown up, entombed, and it's just really solid stuff, and the characters in it feel they leap off the page, and Gary Russell has just really outdone himself with this book. I mean, I'm almost astonished, because after reading Cat People and reading this in Legacy, which I really like Legacy and this, it's just baffling to me that it comes from the same writer. Cat People has some redeeming elements, but it's nowhere near on the, for me at least, it's nowhere near on the same level as this and Legacy. As far as which of the two I like, which I prefer Legacy to an extent, just because it hits that sort of nice, weird, pulpy 90s edgy content that I like. This doesn't hit that quite so much, because it's trying to be faithful to the era it's representative of, and I respect that. And so it's good in its own way, but it's just down to personal preference for me. Objectively, though, this book has to be the better one, and I cannot recommend it enough. I know I usually talk about the plot and what goes on in these books. I'm being purposely a bit vague with this one, because I feel like you have to experience it for yourself, whether you do it through the novel adaptation that's coming out in November, or you pick up a copy of the book yourself. That's up to you, because they're essentially the same experience, although there's some stuff in here that isn't in the adaptation, simply due to the fact that the adaptation's on audio, and I think it kind of enhances this version. So, or you can do both. It's entirely up to you. But yeah, no, I'd definitely recommend this to anyone. I'd even recommend it as like an opener book. It would be a really strong opener book for anyone who really likes classic Who and wants to leap into the expanded universe through the books. It's yeah, it's a really good one, and I seriously can't recommend it enough. It's really, really good, and you need to experience it for yourself if you're a Doctor Who fan, because this thing it'll do wonders for you, and it'll just be a good time all around. So yeah, that's all for now, folks. Gary Russell, I love you. Hopefully you'll stay cool throughout the rest of your books.